Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. Today we're starting on the page of Mateusz Zwigala because, well, we need to talk about this guy. He came through the youth academy in the previous season. Some of you might have missed that, of course, because of the weird way the season's gone. And like I said at the time, I think he's an incredible prospect. But there's been some more developments with him, frankly, as he just continues to astonish me and break records. Never made an appearance for us, of course, and I probably can't imagine he will do for quite a while yet. But the very fact that he's doing the things he is insane. So first up on that list is, as you can see, he's scored a hat-trick in the Cup in his only appearance for the B team in there. So that's one thing. He's also come off the bench in the under-21s for Poland. Like, he's got an under-21 cap already at the age of 16. I think he might have even got that when he was 15. That's how good this guy is at the moment. And not only that, our under-19 team just beat Monaco, who are in our Champions League group and are actually our opponents for today. Don't worry, more on that in a minute. They beat them 4-2 away from home, and he scored a brace in the Champions League under-19 league in the under-19s, which is crazy for him to be doing that amount at this age already. Not only that, but Dortmund have already put bids in for him. Now, he's agreed to stay. He didn't even, protest, which is even better. I'm really a huge fan of this guy, which suggests he might have some loyalty quite high. Dortmund eventually, by the end of the transfer window, they'd put in a bid of £7.2 million for this guy. And he's only 16, and he's not even played a senior appearance. So that tells me that this guy might actually have legit brilliant potential. That 5-star might actually mean something with him, which is brilliant for Polish football and brilliant for us. Still unsure about the whole retraining thing. You might notice that he is being retrained slightly here, so I'm working on that because I haven't heard what you guys have to say about him yet. But it'd be nice to retrain him anyway, just so he's versatile and can play in both positions, and maybe then he does have a future playing for us potentially. Who knows? Anyway, yes. Comments time. Can Mr. Bean get across is probably the weirdest sentence I've heard in an FM video. Oh, you've seen nothing yet. Same thing happened to me with Serbia. I'm only playing Europa League. This isn't a friendlies. Yeah, it sucks, and it's clearly an issue that is much, much bigger than just Poland. And it's a real shame, really. Hopefully, we will be fine. The bug only happens if I add leagues then. In theory, it happens if you add or remove leagues. And as far as I can tell, it's nothing to do with when you add them. It's just that you add them, because the leagues don't start instantly. They start at the start of whenever they are. And unfortunately, I don't think that adding them at any point is going to be it. It didn't do it when I turned off one of the lower leagues of Poland, but I think it's when we added in other countries. That's what really did it. It's more the ad of the nation, I think. That PSG team is like a who's who of FM Wonderkids for the last 3 years. PSG always seem to turn into that, though, don't they? They've just got the classic Wonderkids almost all the time. I'm sure Chiesa's there. Right. So, there's been some movement in the transfer market. A couple of signings and a lot of outs and whatnot. So I'm going to quickly go through that now. We've got a load of stuff off camera, plus again today against Monaco. You've got Champions League group. By the way, Champions League group, Manchester United, Monaco and Sporting. So basically, it's a battle like it was last year, where we basically just have to finish above the Portuguese team. There you go. But more importantly than that, Lechia are in the Champions League group stages with us. They actually did it, which is really, really nice. I'm incredibly impressed. It's hit their league form a bit, but I'm so pleased for them. They knocked out... Who was it they knocked out? They knocked out PAOK first, which is a reasonable one, but then they beat Feyenoord 3-2 on aggregate by winning 1-0 in the Netherlands, which is brilliant. So now Lechia are in the Champions League group stages too. Massive money for them. Really, really nice to see. Unfortunately, Lechia are the only team in the Europa League. The others did not make it through, which is a shame. So there's been an awful lot of outs. We're just going to run through the most important ones that you'd recognise now. So Szymanski's gone out on loan to Trinicianka. El Khatib has gone out on loan to Wisła. We're paying all their wages. Artur Kowalczyk, a youngster that came through the youth academy a few years ago, has gone out on loan to Krobry. Falcao has gone out on loan to our affiliate club Skra. Gorka actually has left permanently for 125k to Arca, because I just don't think he was going to be able to stay in the team any longer, so he has left and we got some money for him. Kevin has gone on loan to who was it? Kevin has gone on loan to Wodge for the season, so that should be nice for him. Pierre Duvalier-Hibert has gone on loan to Cracovia. They love signing our players on loan. Iriondo has gone on loan to Zag for a season. Pinter has also joined in there. And sadly, Mr. Bean has left the club to go to Porto for 4.5 million. We literally couldn't hang on to him any longer. We did the whole release clause, set the asking price low and then reject and then ask him to wait for the release clause. He wasn't going to do that, start kicking up fuss. Essentially, in the end, I was just like, we just need to get rid of this guy. So eventually, we just had to wait for someone to trigger the release clause of 4.5 million. I was hoping they would offer a little bit less so I could put some clauses in, but it was not to be. We made some money on the deal, but it is a bit of a shame because I wasn't quite a fan of this guy. Now, 2 signings have come in. The first one is a goalkeeper, Ruben Franceschi, who's come in from Boca Juniors for £4.1 million in the end. He's basically just Elton Lopez, but better in virtually every area. And yeah, 4.1 million, a lot of money, but I just really felt that we needed a strong, independent goalkeeper. So that's him. And lastly, due to me selling a few players, I thought we could do with a little bit more support in the defensive zone, so we went for Alberto Freitas of Vitoria Guimarães. 16 heading, 13 marking, 15 tackling, 6'5", brilliant. I had my eye on him for a little while, but I was unsure about him, but he had a £3 million release clause, and I wasn't going to not trigger that. So now we've got Pandurovic, Vinjevic, Mane, and Freitas. Mane will probably leave at the end of the season because he's refusing to sign a new contract, and he's been trying to get me to sell him for ages, but I don't want to because his release clause was too tiny, so we might just get the most out of him and then have to move him on, so that's not too bad at all. Those are my new transfers. So we did spend another 7 million trying to actually spend some of that money, but we recuperated a load of it as well. So on a weird note though, Atanas Yordanov has got a hip injury. It didn't say anything else, it just said hip injury, and it also said it was through general wear and tear. I don't know if he's even injured. I'm pretty certain he's skiving. So if anyone has any ideas of what's happened to Yordanov and where he's buggered off to for the next 2 months still, then do let me know. Right, even though this is going to be an action-packed match episode full of stuff, I still want to do a little bit on scouting because I think it's important. So I've saved some scout reports so we can actually go through this, and there was a few more. The issue I had before was that we'd already scouted all the youth intakes that were available, so I didn't have any new stuff to show you, but there was one, so we're going to use that as an example. So when you do the whole scout youth intakes thing, you should be presented with, after a while anyway, a screen like this on your scout report. So most of these I will completely ignore. These ones, totally useless. I'll literally just select, these ones maybe could be useful. They're just, I don't know why those ones come up. So you scroll down. I usually genuinely now have, because we've got so many through, we'll go all the way up to like 70 in terms of recommended and just acknowledge those. It gets those off the radar. Now you're left with 52. So now what do? You got to try and go, well, okay, we don't need any goalkeepers right now. I'm not too bothered about those. So I will go to all the goalkeepers. Why is he listed as a, okay, whatever. We'll just remove that for now. And I'll be like, these guys are pretty much not really that important to us right now, so I'll just get rid of those for now. Then I'll flip it, because there's always some strikers in there, so we'll get rid of the strikers. The next thing I'm interested in is, I'll sort by recommended then, and I'll look and see if there's any older players in here. If there isn't, I will then sort by age. This is just what I do, bear in mind. You can take a look at this slightly differently, and I'll remove any of the ones over 20, really, because they're not brilliant in terms of the recommendations for them, which probably means they're either good but too expensive, like this guy, or just not very good, so we get rid of him. So that leaves us 29 that are under 20 years old and have reasonable recommendations from my scouts. The next thing I'll do is sort the potential by this. Any of them that have got a slight cap on it, so we can sort of see that perhaps they're not quite going to make it, then we'll go with acknowledge, get rid of those. So now we're left with 19 of them. Then I literally just go through each one. If they are completely fully scouted, then I will go and have a look at them. This guy's already on my shortlist, so he's not really relevant to this. Here's one. Okay. Juan Orozco. So, we've not had a look at him yet. Central midfielder, consistent, decent passing, decent vision. He's pretty good, to be honest. So what I would normally do with him is probably put him on the shortlist, or if we're in the transfer window, just go straight in on him. So I might actually do that now. And then I literally just go through each individual player on this and do that. If they've not already been scouted, or aren't fully scouted, then if they're in a position, or like, for example, this guy's a right winger, but he's an inside forward, so we'll get rid of him. And I just slowly but surely filter that through. Every time a new report comes through, I do that. If they're really good, I might let that go over, but that is essentially what I do. And then over time, you just start building up a shortlist of players that you go after. Now, as you can see, loads of these are 5-star players, but that doesn't mean they're actually going to be any good. I really want to go for the cream of the crop, and that's all I've been doing. That's all I do for scouting. Right, games off camera now. Bloody hell. We're in for it today, aren't we? And there's been a lot of them, and my goodness. So straight off the back of that brilliant opening day, we went and won 4-0 in the next match 2 against Arca. A pair of goals for Victor Hugo, and a pair of them for Wojciech Fijarczyk. Rodriguez was sensational. What a win. 9 goals in 2 matches. We then kept it going away at Pogon. Took us a little while to the second half, and Wojciech Fijarczyk made it 1-0. Added another one for Rafael Rodriguez. Got another deserved victory, 3 wins out of 3. You can see where this is going. Next up, we're at home against, I believe, a newly promoted side. We did concede a goal this time, though. Victor Hugo gave us the lead. We then added another one through Siliak. Wonderful goal from him. Thunderous strike. They then added, they got one back. No, they didn't. Sorry, we were 3-0 up at this point. Wojciech Fijarczyk made it 3-0. They then got one back in the second half, but it wasn't enough. 4 wins out of 4. Beautiful. Really looking good for goal scoring. Look at this, 33 shots. We then went away to Lechia and just were brilliant. 1-2-0, goal from Rafael Rodriguez and Edwin Palacios getting the goals in this one. A 2-0 victory away from home, 5 wins out of 5, and a clean sheet again. And then, yes, it continued. A 2-0 win at home to Gornik this time. An own goal kind of did it for us. Then Herman Caballo added another one. They missed a penalty in the 90th minute to keep us that clean sheet. Franceschi, I don't think he's actually conceded a goal yet since he's been in our team, to give you an idea of how good he's been. Unfortunately, we did then drop points away at Swanska. This was really bad because they were down to 10 men after 33 minutes, and then we just could not break them down. Tons of shots, tons of possession, just could not get a goal. A 0-0 draw in this match. Albarracin was still good. The defenders were still good. We just could not grab a goal. And finally, in our last match before this, we played against Katowice. Moneybags Katowice and thumped them 3-0. Very, very comfortable in this one. Fijarczyk with a goal. 2 more for Victor Hugo. They had a man sent off. Fijarczyk and Victor Hugo are just tearing through this league right now. Hugo, I think, has 7 goals in 8 games. which isn't even making him the second top scorer, to give you an idea. Because that honour goes to this guy. Is it Dominguez? Yes, it is. Of Legia, who has managed to score 11 times in 8 games for them this year. They're having a really good season, as are we, as is this Kristovic guy of Rakov. But we're top of the league. We've won 7, drawn 1. Legia are keeping pace with us. They're only 2 points behind us. Then it's a 5-point gap back to Rakov, 6 back to Lechia. And then, well, Katowice in there, Rook down at the bottom. There's a lot of teams struggling. But the point is, we're having a wonderful season. Yamrog's got 5 assists already this year. Victor Hugo's having a wonderful year. So is Rodriguez as well. We're just having a brilliant season. I really do think that it's between us and Legia for the title this year. So there we go. That is a huge run-up. I appreciate it. And this episode might be a little bit long, but we've got today to get into the game against Monaco. It's going to be difficult, particularly as I played a full-strength team against Katowice, because I just feel like we could rest players after this game. And yeah. Okay, so everyone's actually fairly alright with that. And I'm frankly not going to even be bothered to change the system around. This is basically the lineup we've been going with. The only thing I would change is probably bring on Yordanov, but of course he's gone somewhere. So that's the lineup we're going to go with. Victor Hugo, Carballo, Fiarchik, Rodriguez, Siliak, Patino, Yamrog, Pandorovic, Vinjevic, Alboracin, and Franceschi, who I'm pretty certain hasn't conceded a goal yet. Nope, 4 games, 4 clean sheets. Squad's also a little bit lighter now that we've moved some players out on loan. I feel like it was definitely needed to happen. A few players are unregistered. Who can we put in the team? Victor's fine. There we go. So the bench will be Victor, Freitas, Palacios, Luis, Konefal, and Vitharsen. All nice. Right, so tactically, we want to switch to this, turn it to defensive. I'm also going to turn it off of more expressive and just kind of see how we do like this. This is not going to be easy. But we've done good things in the Champions League last year, you know. We were impressive against PSG and Real Madrid, if not enough to actually get any points from those games. But we did lead at the Parc des Princes. Just don't concede early. Oh, God. Get out to him. Block it. Over the crossbar. Okay. But we are going to be up against it like nobody's business today. Ball in. Headed away by Yamrog. Oh, God. It's come to Tielemans. Over the crossbar again. This might be the longest we've actually gone against one of these big teams in Europe without conceding a goal. I feel like it's going to be a long shot that's going to get us today, though, annoyingly. Oh, unless Siliak can put the ball out here. Because we did have some offers from Brighton. He has done a new deal as well to make sure that we waylay that a little bit. Golovin. Oh, buggery. Alexander Golovin with the goal. It's 1-0 to Monaco. They've had mostly long shots. I said it was going to be a long shot that caught us in the end. Unfortunately, the best thing you can do against these sort of teams is sit back and try to prevent them and limit them to only long shots. But, oh, Franceschi just batted it into his own net. That's poor goalkeeping from him. But at least let's try and keep the scoreline down, shall we? Free kick. Oh, good God. Patino's now been red. What are you doing? Okay. This is not what we needed at all. Siliak's going to come in. He's going to move to a more defensive role, but that's the last thing we needed right now. We were doing it all right, but without that extra player there, we're going to struggle. We've put ourselves in a hole now because I feel like even if we're not defensive, we're just going to struggle to create anything, even though we're not already. But now we're going to really have a lot of work to do. We're going to be all at sea at the back. This could end up being 3 or 4 if we're not careful. And we really do need to... Oh, God. Don't let them get the long shot in again. Good save from Franceschi this time. Don't let the morale get too hurt by losing 5-0 or whatever, you know? Into the channel, Pellegrini. That's surely too wide for him to get the shot in. Good save, and well played. Franceschi's at least keeping them out now. Long leg. But if we keep it at 0-0... sorry, at 1-0, there's always that hope that we could nick something later on if we get a chance. We're still yet to have a shot. Which is disappointing, I'll grant you. Carballo's having to do an awful lot of work getting back. No, don't let Golovin through again. Oh, bloody hell, lads. Come on, you're better than that. Golovin's just been able to cut inside and do it again. The problem is there's no screen there that time. The DLP's having to get back and sit even deeper today. And the moment that they're able to bypass him, there's no one there to make the tackle. Then again, he probably should still get across and block this. But Golovin's just been better than him. And it's now 2-0 to Monaco here. And we've not had a shot yet, so you'll say us. Oh, it's 3-0 Diogo Jota. This is what I was afraid of, that the floodgates would just kind of open. We were always going to struggle when going down to 10 men. We held on for a little bit, but it just wasn't to be. Golovin, don't let him do it again, guys. Second to every ball now. Pellegrini coming through again. Oh, God. Lucas is in. And he's nearly made it 4. Well, you're not. Oh, and Sporting have got an equaliser against United too, which is the worst news, because we really did need them to lose that if we've got any hope of getting through here. Well, that looks like it's going to be it. And there it is. Monaco 3, Polonia 0. Yeah, we weren't very good. I think the red card definitely did not help us. It completely put us at sea. Poor is all I can say to that, really. Really, really bad from us. Lechia lost 4-0 at home to Arsenal, so they're not having a great time in Europe either. So hopefully we can pick things up a bit more relaxedly in the next match, although frankly that's at home to Man United, so let's not get our hopes up there. And then we've got to go away to Porto, and that's going to be massive, is the away game there. It's going to be like Benfica last year. We're going to have to try and take something there and try to attack them, I think. We're going to do our best to defend against Manchester United again. We're just going to have to. If we go out and try and play our game against United and Monaco, we will get slaughtered even more than we already were. Still, we've got the league going for us, and I think we can win it this year and properly win it, and that's the main thing. So if you've enjoyed this episode in spite of that, then do drop a like on the video. That'd be awesome. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. That'd be brilliant as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video for a double live com of Manchester United and Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon? No, Sporting. Yeah, see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.